The history of United States war leaders unfolds as a riveting tale of strategic brilliance, resilience, and decisive leadership. Join me on a journey through pivotal moments in American military history, where iconic figures such as George Washington, Ulysses S Grant, Dwight D. Eisenhower, and more, each leaving an indelible mark on the United States journey through conflict and triumph. Stay tuned and make sure you watch it to the end for a comprehensive understanding of the profound impact these leaders had on the course of American history. George Washington was a pivotal figure in American history, serving as the first president of the United States from 1789 to 1797. Prior to his presidency, Washington played a crucial role as the commander-in-chief of the Continental Army during the American Revolutionary War, 1775 to 1783. Washington's military leadership was instrumental in the success of the American colonies in their fight for independence against the British. His strategic acumen was evident in key battles, such as the Siege of Yorktown in 1781, where British General Cornwallis surrendered, effectively ending the war. Notably, Washington's decision to resign his military commission and return to civilian life after the war set a precedent for the peaceful transfer of power, reinforcing the principles of a civilian-controlled military in the new republic. Washington's presidency focused on establishing a stable and effective federal government. He presided over the Constitutional Convention in 1787, where the United States Constitution was drafted. His leadership style emphasized unity and a strong central government. His farewell address in 1796 cautioned against political factionalism, foreign entanglements, and the perils of excessive debt, leaving a lasting influence on American foreign policy. Washington's military achievements and commitment to the ideals of the young nation solidified his status as a revered figure in American history, earning him the title Father of his Country. Andrew Jackson, the 7th President of the United States, held office from 1829 to 1837 and left a lasting impact on American history. Before his political career, Jackson gained fame as a military hero. During the War of 1812, Jackson played a pivotal role in the defense of New Orleans. His decisive victory in the Battle of New Orleans in 1815 made him a national hero and earned him widespread popularity. This triumph not only boosted American morale, but also solidified Jackson's reputation as a capable military leader. Later, Jackson became known for his involvement in the First Seminole War, 1817 to 1818, where he led campaigns against the Seminole Indians and Spanish forces in Florida. His military successes in Florida showcased his assertive approach and earned him both praise and criticism. The nickname Old Hickory reflected Jackson's tough and resolute personality, qualities that defined his presidency. As president, he championed a populist agenda, portraying himself as a defender of the common man against what he perceived as the elite establishment. Jackson's presidency saw significant events such as the Indian Removal Act of 1830, which led to the forced relocation of Native American tribes, most notably the Cherokee on the Trail of Tears. His tenure was also marked by his conflict with the Second Bank of the United States, ultimately leading to its demise. While Jackson's legacy is complex, his military background undoubtedly played a crucial role in shaping his approach to leadership and decision-making during his presidency. His impact on American democracy and the expansion of executive power continues to be a subject of historical debate. William Henry Harrison was the 9th President of the United States and had a brief term in office, serving only 32 days in 1841. Despite the brevity of his presidency, Harrison's military career and contributions to American history are noteworthy. Harrison first gained prominence as the governor of the Indiana Territory, where he played a crucial role in the negotiations and treaties that opened up the Northwest Territory for settlement. He earned recognition for his leadership in the Battle of Tippecanoe in 1811, where he defeated Native American forces led by Tecumseh a confrontation that became known as the Tippecanoe and Tyler II campaign during his later presidential bid. Harrison's military service extended to the War of 1812, where he achieved success in the Battle of the Thames in 1813, leading to the death of Tecumseh and dealing a blow to British indigenous alliances in the region. Despite his military achievements, Harrison's presidency was tragically short-lived. He delivered the longest inaugural address in U.S. history on a cold and rainy day, subsequently contracting pneumonia. His death on April 4, 1841, marked the shortest tenure of any U.S. president. While his presidency left little policy impact, Harrison's military career, particularly his role in the Battle of Tippecanoe, contributed to his political legacy. He remains an interesting figure in American history, known for his military exploits and the unique circumstances surrounding his presidency. Zachary Taylor, the 12th President of the United States, served from 1849 until his death in 1850. His military career, marked by successes in various conflicts, significantly influenced his presidency. Taylor rose to national prominence as a military officer during the Mexican-American War, 1846 to 1848. His victories at Palo Alto, Resaca de la Palma, Monterrey, and Buena Vista earned him the nickname Old, Rough, and Ready, and established him as a hero in the eyes of the American public. As president, Taylor faced complex challenges related to the newly acquired territories from the Mexican-American War, particularly the debate over whether these territories should allow slavery. Taylor, a Southern slaveholder himself, surprised many by advocating for the admission of California and New Mexico as free states. This stance put him at odds with pro-slavery factions, contributing to the tensions that would later lead to the Compromise of 1850. Tragically, Taylor's presidency was cut short by his sudden death in July 1850, likely due to illness exacerbated by the extreme heat. His untimely demise brought Vice President Millard Fillmore into office. Taylor's legacy is intertwined with his military achievements, and his approach to the slavery issue set the stage for subsequent debates that would shape the nation's path toward the Civil War. While his presidency was relatively short, Taylor's impact on American history is significant, both as a military leader and as a key figure in the prelude to the sectional conflicts of the 1850s. Franklin Pierce, the 14th President of the United States, served from 1853 to 1857. Pierce's presidency was marked by his efforts to navigate the increasingly divisive issue of slavery and maintain national unity. But his military background significantly influenced his early life and political career. Pierce, born in 1804, attended Bowdoin College and later served in the U.S. House of Representatives and the Senate. However, it was his military service during the Mexican-American War that brought him national recognition. Pierce served as a brigadier general and experienced combat in several notable battles, earning praise for his bravery. The death of his only surviving son just days before Pierce's inauguration cast a shadow over his presidency, impacting his personal demeanor and decisions. Despite his military achievements, Pierce's presidency faced challenges, particularly concerning the contentious issue of slavery. The passage of the Kansas-Nebraska Act in 1854, which Pierce supported, intensified tensions by allowing settlers in these territories to decide the issue of slavery through popular sovereignty. This decision fueled violence and contributed to the unraveling of the delicate balance between free and slave states. Pierce's support for the Fugitive Slave Act, aimed at appeasing Southern interests, further fueled opposition in the North. By the end of his term, the Democratic Party was fractured and the nation was on the brink of the Civil War. While Pierce's military service showcased his courage and leadership, his presidency remains controversial due to the role he played in escalating the sectional conflicts that ultimately led to the Civil War. His efforts to maintain unity, albeit misguided to some, illustrate the challenging political climate of the time. Andrew Johnson, the 17th President of the United States, assumed office in 1865 after the assassination of Abraham Lincoln and served until 1869. Johnson's military and political career was marked by challenges and controversies, particularly during the tumultuous period of Reconstruction following the Civil War. Before his presidency, Johnson had a humble origin, born into poverty in North Carolina. His military service began during the Civil War when he was the military governor of Tennessee. Johnson, a Southern Democrat, was the only Southern senator to remain loyal to the Union. Lincoln chose him as his running mate in 1864 to symbolize national unity. Upon Lincoln's assassination, Johnson faced the daunting task of reconstructing the nation. He favored a lenient approach towards the Southern states, granting amnesty to former Confederates and allowing them to rejoin the Union relatively quickly. This leniency, however, clashed with the more punitive measures sought by the radical Republicans in Congress. Johnson's clashes with Congress led to his impeachment in 1868, making him the first U.S. president to undergo this process. He narrowly avoided removal from office by one vote in the Senate. Johnson's impeachment was largely a result of his resistance to the radical Republican agenda, rather than any high crimes or misdemeanors. Despite his challenges, Johnson did make some notable achievements during his presidency, including the Alaska Purchase from Russia in 1867, expanding U.S. territory. Andrew Johnson's presidency reflects the difficulties of post-Civil War Reconstruction and the deep-seated divisions in the country. His lenient approach faced criticism for not doing enough to protect the rights of newly freed slaves, while his conflicts with Congress underscored the ongoing struggle to define the nation's path after the Civil War. Ulysses S Grant, the 18th President of the United States, served 2 terms from 1869 to 1877. Grant's presidency followed a distinguished military career during the Civil War, where he played a pivotal role in the Union's victory. Born in Ohio in 1822, Grant graduated from West Point and served in the Mexican-American War. However, it was during the Civil War that he rose to prominence. Grant's strategic brilliance and determination became evident in campaigns such as the Siege of Vicksburg and the Battle of Chattanooga. President Lincoln recognized Grant's effectiveness, eventually appointing him as the commander of the Union Army. Grant's leadership style in the Civil War was marked by a dogged pursuit of victory, leading to the eventual surrender of Confederate General Robert E. Lee at Appomattox Courthouse in 1865. This event effectively ended the Civil War, and Grant's terms of surrender were notably generous, promoting unity and reconciliation. As president, Grant faced challenges related to Reconstruction, civil rights, and economic issues. His administration implemented measures to protect the rights of newly freed slaves and combat the rise of the Ku Klux Klan, reflecting his commitment to civil rights. However, his economic policies were less successful, and his presidency was marred by corruption scandals, particularly involving some of his close associates. Grant's international diplomacy, symbolized by the Treaty of Washington in 1871, sought to resolve lingering issues with Britain from the Civil War, showcasing his commitment to peaceful resolution. While Grant's presidency had its successes and failures, his military achievements during the Civil War and his dedication to civil rights contributed to his legacy. Despite challenges, Grant played a crucial role in shaping post-Civil War America. Rutherford Hayes, the 19th President of the United States, served from 1877 to 1881. His presidency is notable for the circumstances surrounding his election and his efforts to promote civil service reform and national unity during a challenging period in American history. Hayes's presidency began under a cloud of controversy. The election of 1876 between Hayes, a Republican, and Samuel J. Tilden, a Democrat, was one of the most disputed in U.S. history. The electoral vote count was in question, leading to the Compromise of 1877. In exchange for Hayes assuming the presidency, Republicans agreed to end Reconstruction in the South, marking the withdrawal of federal troops and the beginning of the Jim Crow era. During his presidency, Hayes pursued civil service reform, advocating for a merit-based system. The Pendleton Civil Service Reform Act of 1883, enacted after Hayes left office, was a significant step towards this goal, establishing the Civil Service Commission to oversee federal employment based on merit rather than political patronage. Hayes faced challenges in dealing with economic issues, particularly in the aftermath of the Panic of 1873. He supported a return to the gold standard, contributing to the stabilization of the economy. In terms of foreign policy, Hayes sought to establish reciprocal trade agreements, but his efforts were hindered by Congress. He also emphasized the importance of diplomacy in dealing with international issues. Hayes chose not to seek re-election, and after leaving office, he remained active in various causes, including education and civil rights. His commitment to civil service reform and his efforts to bridge the sectional divides left a lasting impact on the nation during a time of significant transition and challenges. Dwight Eisenhower, the 34th President of the United States, served 2 terms from 1953 to 1961. Eisenhower's presidency is characterized by his leadership during a crucial period of the Cold War, his focus on economic stability, and his approach to foreign policy. Before his presidency, Eisenhower had a distinguished military career. As Supreme Commander of the Allied Expeditionary Force in Europe during World War II, he played a key role in the success of the D-Day invasion in 1944. His leadership and strategic acumen contributed significantly to the defeat of Nazi Germany. Eisenhower's presidency marked a period of relative stability in the aftermath of World War II. His administration pursued a policy of containment in the Cold War, aiming to limit the spread of communism. The term Eisenhower Doctrine referred to his commitment to provide economic and military assistance to countries resisting communist aggression. Domestically, Eisenhower implemented a moderate, centrist agenda. He sought to balance the budget, reduce government spending, and maintain a strong economy. The interstate highway system, initiated during his presidency, had lasting effects on transportation and commerce. Eisenhower's approach to civil rights was cautious, yet he took notable steps. He desegregated schools in Washington, D.C., and appointed Chief Justice Earl Warren, whose Supreme Court played a pivotal role in landmark civil rights decisions, including Brown v. Board of Education. His presidency was not without challenges, such as the U-2 incident in 1960, where an American spy plane was shot down over the Soviet Union. Despite this, Eisenhower's leadership style, often called the hidden hand approach, emphasized behind-the-scenes diplomacy and coalition building. Upon leaving office, Eisenhower cautioned against the growing influence of the military-industrial complex in his farewell address, a warning that resonates in discussions about national security and government spending. Eisenhower's presidency is often remembered for its stability, economic prosperity, and his role in shaping the United States' stance during the Cold War, making him a respected figure in American history.